Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. So today, what we are going to do, we will focus on the case framework, right? So you may get any case interview, any case study. What is a universal or standard way to approach any case? What is that which interviewers, case interviewers, are expecting you to do? What is that framework they have in their mind that they want to look at while you approach your case? So today we are going to focus on that framework, and we are going to do that with with the help of a AI profitability case. So what we are going to do, we'll take the most burning issues of today's industry, AI. We'll take a case of a AI SaaS, software as a service company, and we'll see how we can improve its profitability using the framework which we have, thought about, right? So basically, just to summarize, what we are going to do is we are going to look at a framework which everyone in the industry expects you to follow for a case interview. And we are going to do that with the help of an AI profitability case, AI SaaS company, software as a service company profitability case. To start directly jumping to the framework itself so that I do not waste your time. Basically, there are 5 to 6 or 5 steps which any recruiter expect you to do during a case interview. Those steps are clarification, objective, structuring, analysis, and recommendation. Just to give you some more context, and then we will see this in an action in the case study. Clarifying means as soon as you hear the problem, you don't just directly jump to solve the problem. You take a step back and you try to understand what exactly is the problem. Have I understood this problem clearly? You try to ask questions. You try to ask questions to interviewer, which is expected, which is appreciated by the interviewer, that you ask clarifying question in order to understand the problem itself in a best possible way. So that is the first step. Second step is, again, even before jumping to solving the problem, you understand from recruiter what is the objective, what is the expected from you, what is the objective of this case, what you are supposed to do in this case, what is the outcome the recruiter is looking at you when you're solving this case. So very important step. So setting the objective. Third is structuring your approach. So you may not have an answer to a case. You are not supposed to have an answer to a case. What you're supposed to have or to is an approach, that how are you going to solve this problem? How are you going to approach this problem? How are you going to structure this problem? How you might want to use a framework to solve this problem. Now, framework, when I say framework, it need not be a standardized bookish framework. You can create your own framework, with the first level problem solving. So you don't need a kind of a framework. You just need a structured approach to solve the problem. You need to think, what are the 3 to 5 things I should look at to solve this problem. Then analysis. Analysis means analyzing the data, facts, which is given or you have asked to solve this problem. Analyzing that, the fact and the data. And based on that analysis, what is your recommendation? What are your actionable recommendation? Now, recommending your solution is one thing. Also acknowledging that there are some risk in your solution and how are you going to mitigate those risks are very important to showcase that you think very, very thoroughly, maturely, or you're not just like, you've done just analysis, you've just given some recommendation. It's not like that. You need to make sure that you recommend your solution, you acknowledge the risk or the kind of blocker you might have in this recommendation, and how do you want to resolve those blockers, those risks is also very important. So that's the framework you can use to solve any case study. Now let's look at this in action with the help of a case. So the case is this, and this is a very, I would say, very upcoming case. I would say a case which a lot of companies are facing, a problem which a lot of companies are facing. So it's very relevant in today's age. So the company is, your case is that your client is a neurolytics, which is a B2B, business to business AI SaaS startup, right? It's an AI company which provides AI-powered demand forecasting software to retail companies. So retail companies is, let's say, your Walmart or your big basket, not big basket, but let's say, I mean, that is e-retail, but let's assume like mm, Big Bazaar, right, or Vishal Mart. These are some of the retail companies examples. Now they have to do a lot of demand forecasting, right? Every year, every month, every day, how much maybe the cereals are used, how many grocery is required, and all those things. So this company provides an AI-powered demand forecasting software to these retail companies. Now, the problem with this company, what happened is that over the last year, the revenue has gone up. Okay, the revenue has actually grown substantially, but their profits have declined. So we need to find out why profits have been declined. While my revenue is going up, but my profit is declining. What is the reason? So the CEO wants you to understand this and give some suggestion on how to improve profitability of this company. So in this case, we are not just looking at a profitability angle, but we will also look at some angle of AI SaaS companies. Like what are the metrics they look at? So from that perspective, this is a very important case I would like you, all of you to give attention to. So let's follow our case framework. Our first framework is clarify. Now, clarify, I would suggest do two things. One is paraphrase the problem. Make sure, yeah, make sure that you have understand the problem correctly. You might want to paraphrase something like that. That if I understood you correctly, this is the task that our client neurotics is basically you're repeating whatever you heard. And in the process, you are taking a confirmation from the recruiter or the interviewer that whether this understanding is correct or not. So that you don't want to solve a problem which you heard it wrong. This happens practically in an interview. So you make sure that you have heard it wrong. So that's the part of clarification. The second is you ask clarifying question in order to make sure that you have understood the problem correctly. You have understood the context correctly. For that one, you should ask some question to give you more context about the problem, about the company, about its client, about its product. At the same time, you ask questions on the terminologies which are used in the case. So for example, about this AI firm, what is its actual product, exact product, what kind of target market they have, what kind of clients they have, what geography they operate in, right? Just to make sure that you have understood the context clearly. What is its business model? Very important question in my view, because you really want to understand how do they earn money. You really want to, how do they grow? How do they earn money, right? This you want to really understand. What is the profitability decline? So, we have seen this. Like this AI company is losing profitability while their revenue is increasing by 40%. But we don't have any data on how much profitability has been declined. Is it 1%? Is it 15%? What is that? That could be a good idea to, right? So what is the profitability decline in terms of absolute numbers or percentage? And another important question in my view is, are our competitors also facing this problem? Is it some industry-wide problem? Is it that some model costs have been exponentially increased by someone and hence we are facing this profitability? Or is it my own problem? It's not a competitor problem, but my own problem, and hence I have to look at internally, right? So these are some of the questions, clarifying questions you're asking in order to make sure, very importantly, that you have understood the problem clearly. You can't solve a problem which you have not understood it. So ask clarifying question in order to understand the context about the company, about its surroundings. Ask clarifying question in order to understand some of the terminologies which is given in the case, right? So that's how you should start clarifying the question. So that's the first step of a case, that you have given clarification. Now let's say, so this is the part we are talking about, clarification. So let's say client, this is the clarity you get, that our clients are a mid-size US-based retail firm. I mean, their clients are like our clients are medium-sized US-based retail firm. Our competitors are not facing this problem, meaning we are the people who are facing this problem. In fact, it means that there is something related to us in our strategy, in our operations, because of which our profitability is going down. We earn our revenue in yearly first fixed subscription fee per employee. So let's say we give it to our client, they give us a yearly fixed subscription fee. And in addition to this subscription fee, they also give some, after some limit, they also cost, I mean, they also charge, we also charge some usage cost of the cloud, of the server, of the databases. So that's the kind of money they are making by charging subscription fee and they're charging some usage cost. So that's the clarity you got from the clarification question. Now let's see what we should do. Now, even before jumping to solving the problem, once we got the clarity, we should make sure that we have agreed with the recruiter that what is the objective from you, what exactly a recruiter is looking at you for solving this case, right? So what is the objective expected from you? So you can ask something like this, can you tell me, I mean, or you can say, okay, you want me to find out why this profitability is going down and ways to fix it. Is there any other thing you want me to do? Generally, at this point of time, recruiter will think about it. He or she will get more involved in the process. He will see, and you both would agree, okay, this is what we are expecting from you in this case. That's very important so that you go in the right direction. More importantly, you are showing that you are mature enough. Before solving a problem, you are making sure that what is the expectation from you. Very important, right? So you do that. Next is structuring. How do you structure your approach? Now, when I say yes, what is your structure? What I meant to say is, what is the framework would you like to use? What is the step-by-step procedure you would like to see? What are the 3 to 5 factors you would like to analyze for this case? Framework may be or may not be a textbookish ready-made framework. Generally, you may not be able to use anything ready-made, but it's a good idea to know all those ready-made frameworks like profitability frameworks, market entry frameworks, and all those things. Here, the point is what you are going to show that I know how to approach a problem. I know how to structure an ambiguous problem in a certain way so that I can approach it in a best possible way. So let's see what is the structure we are going to use. We are going to start with a simple structure, and in this, while I'm using a simple structure, I will give you some nuances of AI SaaS startup or companies or financials or the metrics which they look at. So while it is important to know the structure, it is also important to know some industry nuances. In this case, I will try to uncover that. So profitability is revenue minus cost, as we know. So profitability, if profitability is declining, either my revenue is going down or my cost is going up. But in our case, we already know that revenue is going up actually. So that's one thing, right? Now let's see. Our revenue, let's drill down to revenue first. So revenue is basically number of clients and what is the average contract value. What is the kind of value we are getting from each client. We need to ask some questions on revenue, around revenue. Are we discounting heavily to win clients? Are our clients on pilots pricing instead of full contracts? Is our churn increasing? Maybe our revenue is increasing, but our churn is increasing also. Means more people are leaving us while some are joining. Some are joining. Our upsell and cross-sell is not happening. These are some of the questions you may want to dig down, or you might want to get data for on the revenue side to understand what's happening around revenue. Although your revenue numbers are increasing, it may happen that you're discounting them heavily to win clients. Hence, your revenues are increasing, but they are not so efficient. Our pricing is lesser, right? So you kind of try to dig down to these factors to understand what's happening in the revenue stream. Now let's jump to cost stream. Now cost stream, I would say I would divide it into 2 parts. One is direct cost, meaning for all the AI companies, there are certain costs like cloud costs, like model costs, like R&D costs, which is directly associated with the clients, whatever revenue we are getting, versus there are some operating costs. There are some general costs, which may not be directly associated with, let's say, HR costs, for example, or finance team costs, or on some other team costs, procurement team costs, which is not directly associated with the direct cost, but they are also important. Now, if we drill down to these, let's see what's happened. So in the COGS, the cost could be cloud cost. I mean, we are having our models, we are training our models, we are hosting it in cloud. So there is some cloud cost, meaning we are storing storing in the cloud. That is one cost in cloud. We are using cloud to calculate something, compute cost, like AI compute cost. We are using some LLM, right? Large language models from the cloud. for the product from the same cloud or from some other company. The storage cost, right? These are some of the costs. Cloud compute cost is basically your server cost. Your data storage cost is, let's say, your database cost, your files cost, your video storage cost, and all those things. Your API cost is, let's say, you're using OpenAI, ChatGPT. You are calling API, you are calling ChatGPT services to get things done. That cost. So these are some of the costs you are directly using to serve your customers. Versus there are some operating costs, R&D costs, which is generally going on, your sales and marketing costs, and your general administration costs, like your tea, coffee, building, different support department like HR, finance, those are the costs. So we need to find out what's happening here also. So what we have done till here is, okay, one more thing. Once you understand all these costs, there's a very important concept, unit economics, and that's, in my view, very important for SaaS companies. They look at it. What is unit economics? Means for a specific client, how much revenue we are getting and how much we are spending. So you need to calculate all the cost and all the revenue per client basis. So let's say your gross margin for a client could be revenue from that client minus direct cost from that client divided by total revenue. So that is called gross margin. CAC payback period. What is CAC? Anyone? Somebody tell me, what is CAC? What is the meaning of CAC? CAC is customer acquisition cost. How much cost I am incurring to acquire a customer? Let's say I want to acquire, let's say, Reliance as a customer. I have to invest a lot of money to ultimately, I need to send my business development officers, I need to go themselves, I need to, the CEO has to go there, they have to give a lot of demo, you need to create some custom model for them. So in order to acquire a client, these SaaS companies do a lot of work. They spend a lot of money. They might have some conferences, they go to New York, they go to some other places and all those things, right? So all those costs, even when we are incurring it, that is called customer acquisition cost. So how much is your customer acquisition cost and what is payback period? Meaning, let's say to acquire a client, you spent $1 million and your annual revenue is from that client after it get acquired is $0.5 million. So you will take 2 years to get that customer acquisition returned to you and then pay back to you, right? And then you may start earning profit. So that is called CAC cost. LTV by CAC cost. LTV is lifetime value of the customer. Very important metric. So let's say it's the same example of Reliance, right? As if you invested $1 million and you got $0.5 million per year. So your payback period is 2 years. Your LTV is how much time you can retain Reliance. Let's say you can retain Reliance for 5 years. So 0.5 into 5, right? So per year you're getting $0.5 million. 5 years, $2.5 million. So your LTV from Reliance client is $2.5 million, where your CAC was what? 1 million, right? So that's called this thing. Just to make it clear, I'll just let's say CAC is customer acquisition cost. Let's say you spent $1 million to acquire Reliance as client. Now every year you are getting $0.5 million as revenue from Reliance. One second. Every year you are getting $0.5 million from Reliance. So your payback period is 2 years, right? You will get this $1 million which you invested in CAC in 2 years. Your LTV, let's say you can retain the Reliance and assuming at the same contract value of $0.5 million per year for 5 years. So your LTV, long-term value, lifetime value of the Reliance client is 2.5 million. So your LTV to CAC ratio is 2.5 by 1, right? Which is your LTV. So this is a very important ratio for all the companies which are operating in this particular field, right? So that is of specific things you should know about all the B2B companies and definitely in the B2B AI companies. Now, so these are the analysis you may want to do. Now let's see what you have done. You have clarified the problem, you have set the objective, you have structured the approach, you ask questions about data. Can you give me some data? Or what kind of data? Can you give me revenue data? Can you give me cost data? Can you give me COGS data? Can you give me operating data so that I can analyze it and know where is our problem? So now till here you have shown that you can structure the problem to recruiter, which is very much appreciated by the recruiter. Now you may want to show how do you analyze data? How can you, if the data is given, how do you analyze it and how do you make inference from that data and how do you recommend hence based on that analysis? So let's say you've been given this data that last year you have 50 clients, this year you have 90 clients, so almost doubled. Average contract value per client, earlier it was 40 lakhs, now it is 35 lakhs. So see that, okay, let's see the data first. Then gross margin is reduced 65% to 45%. Cloud compute cost is last year was 4 crore, now 12 crore. R&D cost 10 crore, now 18 crore. Sales and marketing cost 8 crore, now 14 crore. If you make sense of this data, what you will understand is the number of clients have increased, but average contract value has decreased. It means either we are discounting or our scope is lower, or both of them, right? Cloud computing has grown. See, the cloud compute cost has tripled. 4 3s are 12. Why? My clients have not increased. My average contract value has gone down, but my cloud computing cost is higher. It means we are incurring a lot of cloud cost and we are not proportionately growing in terms of our revenue. So that's a red flag. We are investing a lot. We are over R&Ding it. Maybe we are giving more services to our clients at a lower cost. We are giving more discount and all those things. Or our models are inefficient and hence we are incurring a lot of cloud cost. So these are some of the reasons because of which this thing has gone down. Our profitability has gone. We have this much data and this is what we are used for inference. See, R&D cost is more or less similar in the similar line, but still we should look at and reduce it. And sales and marketing, again, it has increased, although in the similar proportion, but there's always a room to reduce all these costs. So what is your recommendation based on your data is that we should definitely improve our gross margin. Our gross margin is reduced. And for that, we need to do something. We'll tell you. What we should fix pricing. Right now, our average price per customer is very less. It's 35 lakhs. It's actually reduced by 5 lakhs. So we need to see and we need to fix our pricing. We need to also look at some other things like your R&D cost and sales and marketing cost. So let's see. Improve gross margin. How can you improve gross margin? Optimize model cost. You know, right? The major culprit right now, which I can see, is this cloud computing cost. So we need to optimize this. So for that, we need to optimize our model. We need to maybe move to a cheaper cloud or a cheaper GPU service provider. Let's say you are in Amazon, AWS. You find out that your costs are very high in Amazon, in AWS. You might want to look at moving to, let's say, GCP or let's say Azure or let's say some other Oracle, assuming they are cheaper. So move to cheaper cloud, cheaper GPU, standardized product instead of custom built. So you might be doing a lot of customer oriented specific customization for a customer. That might increasing your cost. So don't do that, right? Try to standardize your product, and that's a common practice. This is what they want to achieve. This B2B AI products. Fixed pricing for compute. The clients which are heavy, you should fix pricing. You should not give a lot of discounting to them. Charge premium for custom models. If you have to give custom models, a custom product, right? Based on the requirement, the specific requirement of the client, charge premium for that. Other recommendation is stop overtraining the large model. See, at beyond the point, no matter how much you train your model, the marginal value of that improvement of that model will not be that much. So you have to optimize that. Prioritize features that scale across the clients. I mean, standard. This is kind of aligning with that. Focus on industries with repeatable use case. I mean, you find out repeatable use case. Okay, this use case happens everywhere. So let me work on this particular use case versus always creating new use cases, new product, new features. Reduce sales cycle through partnership. Right? These are some of the ways with which you can distinguish. Now, you may expect some risk question. For example, client may say, if you charge premium, don't you think that the client will go away and they will go to competitor? You have to acknowledge that risk, right? You say, yes, it is possible. We need to really work on our relationship and we need to also show that why we are charging custom pricing, and more importantly, why this is going to benefit them if they purchase this from you. So these are some of the risk mitigation strategies you need to think about. The objection you need to think about and kind of answer it logically. So basically, this is the kind of framework which you can use or which is expected from you in any case interviewer, by any case interviewer. Definitely follow this to solve any problem. And today we have seen profitability issue for a AI company. Just to sum up, listen carefully, paraphrase your understanding. Do not jump to solve the problem. Show your approach. Take interviews hint. Think aloud. It is okay to get stuck. Don't give up. These are some of the resources. You can go through it. These are some of the links. GoCrackIt.com resources. You can go through our YouTube and you can see multiple exciting new case studies and learn a lot from them and become more confident for your upcoming interviews or your exams or whatever it is. Right? We also do one-to-one mentoring. If you really want to avail, you want to have a career guidance session or resume review session or mock interview session, you can visit us or we can contact us and we will be definitely help you. We also have smart preparation kits. We have kits on guesstimates, on consulting case studies, and a bundle of custom consulting and guesstimates bundle. And we have product management case studies. So if you're interested, you can go to these links or these you can take a screenshot and you can go to these QR codes and definitely visit us. Thank you so much, guys, and all the very best. You can always connect me. My name is Alok Shrivastava. I am co-founder of GoCrackIt, and I am Bangalore alumnus and co-founder of GoCrackIt. Told that. Yeah. So yeah, let's be in touch. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.